Good morning, good morning. Welcome to In the Garden of Joyful Living. I am Kimberly Dixon. We're going to give it just a few minutes to let some people join us. In the meantime, I'm going to invite a few more people. Bear with me just a moment. Okay, I don't like inviting people once I've already gone live because you'll be looking crazy while you're trying to find people's names. So we're going to give it just a few minutes to let everybody come in this morning. But as I said, welcome to In the Garden with Joyful Living. As you can see, I am not outdoors this morning. It is in the 30s, but it's also rainy and it's a little bit cold. So cold weather is funny because I'm hot and cold all the time at the same time. But anyway, I'm not outdoors this morning. So while we wait for some people to join us, I hope this didn't do this as private again. I don't know. Facebook has been acting so crazy lately. And I don't know how to test it to see if it is broadcasting as private. But it's been changing my settings without me knowing it. And because my profile is public, but I've gone live recently several times and then posted the video and it's posted as private, which is not what I want. So welcome to In the Garden with Joyful Living. While we wait for a few people, please check out the Joyful Living podcast. You can listen to it on Anchor FM, Spotify, and watch it as well on YouTube. The purpose of the Joyful Living podcast is to share inspirational stories of everyday people who have gone through some horrendous things, gone through some trials, gone through sickness, and gone through deaths, but they were still able to either keep their joy or regain their joy. So please listen to the Joyful Living podcast. New episodes air every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Again, you can listen to it on Anchor FM or Spotify, or watch it on YouTube. Share the video, share the podcast link so that people can follow these inspirational stories, because we're living in a time now when people feel hopeless, that they have lost hope in humanity, hope in themselves, hope in the world. So listen to the podcast to help people get some hope, and share it for me, please. So today's topic is keeping your joy in the middle of adversity, or in the middle of tragedy. So I can see that there's a few people watching, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Please share the video, guys. Good morning, Isaiah. Please share the video. We're going to go ahead and get started. So many of you saw on last Sunday that there was a helicopter crash in which 9 people, including Kobe Bryant and Gigi, lost their lives. On Monday morning, I did a short video to offer some tips on ways that people can find their joy in the middle of adversity. But I'm going to tell y'all, guys, I was surprised at the reaction of the video, and I was glad that it was able to help some people. But I realized when I got off of it, I didn't say half of the things that I had planned to say, because I too was grieving. And I mean, I was hurting so badly that I could hardly get through the video. So today I want to give you a more comprehensive list. It's not a complete list. And you're like, well, that was a week ago. Well, it was a week ago to us, but to those families, they're still going through it, and tragedies happen. Good morning, Sabrina. Tragedies happen every day, so we need to know what to do when we are facing difficult times. So today I'm going to take a little bit of time to give you a more comprehensive list. I'm going to give you 5 things that we can do when we are facing national tragedies, but when we are facing personal tragedies as well, that are going to help us navigate those times. So the first tip in keeping your joy in the middle of it, good morning, Troy, in the middle of adversity, is to seek God. We need to seek God first in everything. Even in our everyday decisions, we need to seek God first. So the first tip is to seek God. Matthew 6:33 says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you." People equate the things that's listed there as physical things. Things that you can hold, things that you can touch, things that you can buy. But the things that God is talking about is love, peace, and joy. To get peace and joy in the middle of adversity and the middle of tragedy, we got to turn to God for comfort. There's no way around it. When we turn to him, you can have a peace that surpasses all understanding. That's the only way you're going to get it. And honestly, I don't know how people who don't know God make it in the world that we live in, because the world can be hard sometimes. It can be harsh. But when we turn to God, things don't have the impact that they have on the world that don't know him. The second tip is we got to make a decision. We got to make a decision that we're going to be grateful even in the middle of the situation that you're going through. You get to choose. You get to make a decision in everything. But I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes the options that you have, both of them, neither one of them, or none of the options, 4 or 5, no matter how many you have, none of them are good. But you still get to choose. And when you make the decision to be grateful for what you have in the middle of adversity, then you are taking your power back. You don't feel so hopeless and at the mercy of other people and at the mercy of the world. And honestly, that gratitude will carry you through your darkest of days. Good morning to everybody who has joined us. Good morning, Jerome. That gratitude will carry you through the darkest of days. Recognize that even in sadness, that you can still be grateful. That when you're hurting, you can still be grateful. Happiness and sadness are emotions. Good morning, Lori. Are emotions, and our emotions can be all over the place because it's largely based on external circumstances. And again, if you guys saw my live on Monday, some of these tips you've already seen, but not the whole list. So stay tuned. Please, thank you for sharing, Laura, and thank you for sharing, Isaiah. So please stay with us this morning, because adversity happens every day. Sometimes it may not be the tragedies of this magnitude, but adversity and hardships happen every day. So this list of things will carry you through your darkest of days. So again, recognize that happiness and sadness are emotions. And your emotions can be all over the place. It's a roller coaster ride. You get up in the morning and you're mad because you got to get up. The alarm clock just puts you in another state. By lunchtime, you got to check in the mail. So now you're happy. But it's based on external circumstances. But when you are grateful, you can tap into your joy in the most difficult of circumstances. Life will have its mountain highs and its valley lows, just like a marriage. Life is going to have its good times and bad times. It's going to be for better or for worse. And it's going to be in sickness and in health. Learning how to have joy in the middle of all of that, in the middle of everything that life throws at you, is what perseverance is. Good morning, Jay. That's what the perseverance isn't just surviving. Perseverance is still being able to make it through the situation or the circumstances and still have your joy, still be intact, still be moving forward. Jay said, man, listen. But so don't get into that mindset of just, I'm making it. That's a horrible place to be. I don't want to just make it through this life. I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive. And if you follow these things, you will thrive. And I'm speaking from experience, because some of you know my story. Not all of you may not, but I've had a life full of a lot of valley lows, and I'm experiencing some mountain highs now. But I know that there are going to be other lows. But I know how to get through that because I follow the things that I'm talking about. So remember that life is going to have its ups and downs. It's going to have its valley highs and its mountain lows. It's going to be sickness. There's going to be health. But learning to have joy in the middle of all that life throws you will keep you. So the third tip to keeping your joy in the middle of tragedy is turn the news off and step away from social media. Because your brain doesn't know the difference between new news and something that's a replay. Every time you read a story, watch a clip, or see an image, even if you've already seen it a million times, you still feel a jolt as if you're seeing it for the first time. all over again. Your brain doesn't know the difference in you watching something that you've seen 10 times and you just getting the news. So step away from the news for a little bit. Get off social media for a little bit. If you have to watch the news, watch it small segments here and there throughout the day. Because if you notice on 24-hour news, they're showing the same thing all day long. A different reporter comes on and they still talking about the same thing they reported this morning. So if you're a person who just has to watch the news, check in periodically throughout the day, but don't just stay plugged into it 24 hours a day. Because doing that, I don't know if you know it, but science tells us that doing that leads to higher rates of depression. Step away from the news. Because the news will make you feel like the world is completely lost and completely hopeless. Yes, we need to stay informed, but nobody needs to be plugged in 24 hours a day. So step away from the news a little bit. Take a break from social media. I have been doing very little scrolling this week because I couldn't. It was just like that jolt. Even now when I see it, it's just like, it's a jolt to my system. So that really can traumatize people. So take a break from the news. Take a step away from social media to give yourself the emotional break that you need. Give yourself a mental and emotional break. Turn the news off and step back from social media for just a minute. Good morning, Sierra. And please share the video, guys, for you who have just gotten on. The fourth way to keep your joy in the middle of trials and tragedy, and adversity, is to seek your joy through activity. Sing, dance, write, spend time in nature. Do any activity that brings you personal joy. Write poetry, a song, or journal about the experience, because writing about something connects the mind to the heart. Expressing how you feel allows you to breathe in the middle of everything that's going on. Because this is me, y'all. We try to be strong for other people, but while we're being strong, we never allow ourselves to feel what the brunt of what's really going on. We try to keep it together for our family, for our friends, and for everybody that's around us. But writing will help you take the mask off. Because this was me on Sunday. Somebody texted me and gave me the news. And immediately I went to all of those people that I know, because I was a diehard Laker fan. I don't watch sports anymore. But I know other people who are, good morning, Kimberly, diehard Laker fans. So immediately I began to reach out to them to make sure that they were okay, not realizing that I wasn't okay. And it wasn't until Monday morning that I began to really feel the brunt of what had just transpired. So I had to do some things that would take care of me. So, and another tip is when you're when we are going through national tragedies, or when things that are happening like natural disasters, hurricanes, earthquakes, and things of that nature, get involved. Excuse me. Sometimes we think that, we are so far removed that we really can't make an impact, that we can't get involved. But that's not true. In 2010, when that massive 7.0 earthquake hit Haiti, I was devastated. Of course, I knew about it. I wasn't watching the news, but I was just getting snippets. Good morning, Tiffany. I was devastated. And I wanted to help, but I didn't know what in the world I could possibly do. Because at the time, I was already disabled and already in a tremendous amount of pain every day. I felt hopeless. I'm like, how can I help these people? Because they were asking people to come. Because, Haiti is one of the poorest countries in this part of the world. So they were asking people to come to help, dig these people out of the rubble. But I was like, I can't go on a mission trip to Haiti. I can't walk on the flat ground that's here. So what am I going to do? And then I got a hold of a story that there was an organization that was collecting shoes for people in Raleigh. So I went to work. At the time, I was still in the office. So I started a shoe drive with I asked everybody in my family, all my friends, all my co-workers. Tiffany, I think you probably gave to that shoe drive. And I got my sister to help and collect shoes in the Wanna Cove area. So between two people, me and my sister, we were able to collect over 200 pairs of shoes to give to that organization to send to people in Haiti. Because I'm going to tell you, something as simple as a pair of shoes means everything to somebody who has nothing. You can make an impact. Whatever you can do, you can make an impact. You may not be able to give or do what somebody else can do, but you can still make an impact by doing whatever you can. So seek your joy by doing activities that bring you personal joy, but also by getting involved. Sometimes you're going to have to seek your joy minute by minute, second by second. You're going to have to fight for it because life, again, is going to have its difficult situations. And the last tip I have for you guys today is, and this is going to be a difficult one to digest, but it's true. Recognize that it's not about you. When bad things happen, when people die, especially people that are in our family, we often think that we are being punished. Death is so very personal, and a loved one passing away feels like an assault against you. But realize that tragedies and death, it's not about you. It's the nature of life. And it's difficult to digest. But all of us are going to return to the dust from which we came. The scriptures teach us that it's appointed that every man must die, and that no one knows, good morning, Tasha, and that no one knows the day or the hour. But again, as I said, all of us are going to return to the dust from which we came. Some of us are going to be old. Some of us are going to be young. Some of us are going to be healthy. Some of us are going to be sick. And it's going to seem unfair, regardless of what the situation is. Good morning, Judy. It is going to feel extremely unfair. But I want you to realize two things in the middle of all of that. The first one is that even in the midst of tragedies, is that God is never going to leave us and he's never going to forsake us. And the second thing, remember what the Apostle Paul said when he was writing to the Romans. And we know that all things work together for the good of those who love God and to those who are called according to his purpose. That's Romans 8:28. Not some things, not just the good things, but all things work for the good. That includes the sad things, the bad things, the horrendous things that we can't even imagine, the tragedies, the disappointments, the things that you wish didn't happen, the things that Satan thought was going to destroy you. It's like, if I can just get them to throw up their hands in exasperation and curse God, God will use those very things to bless you. Yes, it's still going to be painful. It's still going to hurt in ways that you can't even imagine. But remember, God is not going to leave you. He's not going to forsake you. And that all things will work together for the good of those who love God. So please share the video, guys. I've shared a more comprehensive list today than what I was able to share on Monday. Monday, I was tore up. So I just want to end today's broadcast by reading the names of those whose lives were lost in a helicopter crash on Sunday. Please continue to lift their families up in prayer because, again, this happened almost a week ago. Tomorrow it'll be a week ago. But from personal experience, I know that when all the people go away, when all the hoopla dies down, nobody's calling, nobody's sending food, nobody's sending cards and flowers, that's when the real grief sets in. So please continue to lift these guys up and pray, those families up in prayers. So the names of the people who were on the helicopter are Kobe Bryant, 41 years old, Gigi Bryant, 13, John Altobelli, 56 years old, Keri Altobelli, 46 years old, Alyssa Altobelli, 13 years old, and then Christina Mauser, mother of 3 and wife, 38 years old. Sarah Chester, 45 years old. Payton Chester, 13 years old. And Aurora, I don't watch the news, so I don't know how to pronounce his name. Aurora Zobian, 56. Please continue to pray for those families. They still need us. Even if they don't physically see us, the prayers of the righteous availeth much. Keep these families uplifted in your prayers. Please share the video. Thank you for watching In the Garden with Joyful Living. I am Kimberly Dixon. Again, please stay tuned and watch the podcast on every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Good morning, Sean. Thank you for tuning in. Please go back and watch the replay. I am Kimberly Dixon. I love you. Bye-bye.